Imagine turning any Excel file you've ever created into a real-world web application in 15 minutes for free without writing a single line of code. By the end of this video, you'll have your own web application up and running, and I'll give you the exact AI skill pack I use so you can transform virtually any Excel file into a modern web application. Let's get started. All right, great to have you here. I built this customer relation management, the CRM, just a few months ago, and it is really nice in Excel. But what I want to do is I want to port this into a web app so it can be used on the phone or in any browser. And I want all of the functionality to be maintained, and I don't want to write any code doing it. So we're going to do just that. We'll be using Claude. Now you can use the free version of Claude inside a browser, so that's no problem at all. And all we want to do is just give it the simple instructions that I've already created for it. Now I'm going to be supplying you with these instructions, so you don't have to worry. Make sure you do click the link inside YouTube. If you are new, make sure you look for the download word, and I'll make sure to supply that to you absolutely for free. If you're on my website, just look for the button. All right, so what I've done is I've dragged in an instruction kit, which you'll be getting, and my CRM template, and I'll give you that as well. So what I want to do is very simple. Just ask Claude to create a web app. Please turn this Excel template into a functional web app. That's it. I'm not going to give it any more instructions. I'm using Opus 4.8. It seems to work quite well, but you can try it with other models. And now simply it is going to go into it and create it. Now the idea is simple. We don't want to exactly recreate pixel for pixel. We want all of the functionality to be maintained. So in this, we have a list of contacts. On selection, it will display those contacts. When we select a contact, we want all the activities to show up. We want to be able to add new, update, save contacts. We also want to be able to add new, update, and save activities for the individual contact. So let's go ahead and see what Claude can do and bring it into a real world application that you're going to use on any device in just a few minutes. We're also going to be creating a database. So even if you've never done this before, Claude or whatever LLM you use is trained inside the skill that I've created to walk you step by step. So make sure you watch till the end. Okay, so it's a web app. It's going to look in the macros and understand all the functionality and features before it actually builds it. So it wants to learn the logic of the application. And also, of course, the front end, which is the worksheet that includes both the contacts and the activities of each one of those contacts. It's also going to give us a dark light toggle, which I like, so that we'll have different themes on that. So it's got web only upgrades, things that we couldn't do in Excel. It's recognized, and it's going to add features such as a pipeline dashboard because it recognizes that we have the data. So it's looking at the data as far as deal value, the pipeline stage setting, including a print PDF. So it's going to put all those in there. And after just a few minutes, it's now completed its task. We have the details here, schema, and we have actually the HTML form. But what I want to do is I want to actually open that up in a browser. So we can just click download as HTML, and it's going to be available in our downloads folder. So I'll go ahead and save that. Now I'll just go ahead inside a browser and I'm just going to drag this in. We can take a look at it. Okay, we've got a nice dashboard. We've got the number of contacts. We've got some KPIs here that it's done, some recent activity. So it's gone above and beyond my application, which I do appreciate. The contacts here, we've got it. If I select a contact, that looks pretty cool. I probably would have liked the new contact up where the buttons are here. I'm sure we could ask it and have it done. If I scroll all the way down, it's kind of a little bit wonky to have it that low, but it looks like we can edit an existing contact. Let's just say make a change and save the activities. It's automatically updated. We can add new log activity. Let's go ahead and add a brand new one. So I'm going to click on new and I'm going to add Fredders to the list, and then we'll just save that. Automatically, Fred is now part of that, so it looks good. If I want to delete him, we get a warning. That's nice. I can click OK and he's gone. So the functionality is there. In just a few minutes, we have a brand new web app. We can toggle the light dark theme, so I do like that. All right, very, very good. I want to be able to actually save it beyond the browser, meaning I want to actually save the data and not just in the browser so that it's available on any device all over. And to do that, we need an actual database. Luckily, we can use something called Supabase. It is a free database, or for what we need, it's free. And actually, Claude is going to walk us step by step through that. So let's go back to Claude. And instead of asking for any changes, we're just going to say, okay, great. Now I would like a database. Can you help? So it's going to tell us exactly to go to supabase.com. So while it's thinking, let's go ahead and use the time wisely and get signed up on Supabase. And to do that, we're going to go into this tab here, and I'm going to create a brand new account. So you're going to go to supabase.com and then just click sign up. And once we do, it's going to give us an email confirmation. So I'm going to wait for that. All right, I've now got the email. So I'm just going to confirm my email address, and it's going to open up a new tab here. And we are good to go. It's going to sign us in automatically. Now let's go ahead and check with Claude. It's going to tell us exactly what to do. So it's going to say get a project. So skip to if you already have one. Go to Supabase, start your project, sign in with GitHub. So we want to create a new project. That's the first thing we have to do, and name it anything. I'll use its suggestion, and I'm going to name it EFF Apps. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to go back into our Supabase. Let's go ahead and refresh this. It kind of looks, we don't have any organizations now, but what we want to do is create a brand new project. So let's go ahead and set this up, and I'm going to create the organization. Just keep it on a free and personal. That's sufficient enough for us. So the next step, what we're going to do is we're going to create a project name. I'm just going to paste in that project name that we have. I've already got my database password set up. So I'm just going to click create a new project. And inside this project, we can add in our database. So next up, let's go ahead and go back to Claude. It says build the tables. Left side, we're going to need to go to the SQL editor and new query. So let's go ahead and do that. So we've got the sidebar here. We're going to go to the SQL editor here, and we want to add a brand new query. And if we look back, it already did. So all we need to do is just copy that. And what we're going to do is we're going to put that in the query. So I'm just going to paste it right in here, and then I'm going to click run. And what that's going to do is going to create the entire database for us. So we've built in the tables. We're good to go on that. Now we want to load in our data. So we're going to use the same SQL editor. We want a new query, but we're going to paste in the sample data. So it's given us the sample data right here. And I'm just going to copy that, and we're going to also add in a new query, and we're simply going to paste that in. So I'm going to go back into our query. I'm going to add a brand new query here because we're going to different instructions. I'm going to paste that in here. So we're going to click run query, and then we're good to go. So let's take a look. We have CRM activities here, and we have CRM contacts. So our data structure is in good shape. Let's focus on the next step. So we've done step one to create the project. We've built the tables. We've loaded our data. Now what we need to do is we need to grab two keys. We're going to go to the gear icon in the project settings, which is in the bottom left. We are going to grab the data API, and depending upon our Supabase version, we're going to copy both the project URL and the anon public key. So let's go ahead and do that step. Next, we'll go back into Supabase here, and I'm going to look for the project settings down here in the lower left. Once inside there, I'm going to look inside the data API. So that's going to be right here. Now, if we look inside the instructions in Claude, it's going to ask us for this, and it's going to end in .co. So I'm just going to do exactly what it says. And we have that URL here, but I'm just going to copy it up to the CO, nothing after that. So we're just following it. I'm going to go into our CRM and in the cloud. It's already given us this, which is kind of cool. And I'm going to add that in here. Next up, it's asking for the anon public key. So let's go ahead and grab that. Also, inside the project settings here, we do see that we have some API keys here. I do see the second tab here says legacy anon. I'm going to select that. And I'm going to copy this. Now you can see my API key. I'll delete this project when we're done. I'm going to go back into the CRM, and I'm simply going to paste it in here. And then I'm going to click save and connect. So it says connected to cloud. We are good to go. All right, so let's take a quick look back inside our database. I want to show that it is saving. So we're going to go to the table editor, and we see that our contacts are here. So we don't have anybody named Fred. So what I want to do is I want to add someone. So I'm going to click on new contact, and I'm just going to put in Fredder's company and just put in, let's see, CEO. And then let's go ahead and add in the name up here, Fredders. I'm going to save that contact. And when we go back to the CRM contacts, let's take a look. We do see Fred here. So we know it's been added to the database. We now have a fully connected web application with a complete database absolutely for free. That's really awesome. But what about when we have a little bit more complex applications? Let's take a look at this one. This is a 60-minute ERP. And I created this a few weeks ago. We have invoicing. We also have purchasing. And also we can load an order. So we can search for an order here and it's going to load. It includes orders, products, and order items and names. And here's something that's interesting. So we have a name here. This is a list of customers. However, when we click a new order and I want to select purchases, we also have a list of vendors. So that's dynamic. So this list is based on whatever we type. I want to see what Claude and my individual skill that I'll be sharing with you can do with this type of application. Can we create a full 60-minute ERP or mini ERP inside? So let's go ahead and take a look. Once again, I'm going to go in Claude and I'm going to open up a brand new chat because I just want to start it from scratch. And now I'm going to drag and drop. And once again, I've got the 60-minute ERP ready and I'll include this with the downloads if you want to have this and test it out. And the instructions, please create a full web app. That's it for the instructions. And we'll skip all the details and let's see how this comes out. I'll be adding even more to this training inside our elite membership program. It contains over 240 updated trainings and templates for you. Also inside this membership, I've got 20 Excel-based tools that you can use to supercharge your Excel use. Those are online tools directly inside our program. And I've got a whole lot more. Next week, I'll be releasing an updated training, adding even more to the skills. So make sure you get inside our elite membership. It is a ton of great value and a great way to support what we're doing here. All right, so let's take a look inside this. I want to take you through this database. Now notice this database, the tables say CRM activities, CRM contacts. Theoretically, with the free version of Supabase, we're just allowed 2 projects. However, what if we were to use the same project, but just create different databases in there? So for example, the next database could be ERP contacts or ERP customers or ERP invoice. So that's kind of a nice way to create multiple databases with the free version. And there's a lot of databases that you can add before you run out of the free space. I think it's a bunch of gigabytes, maybe 5 gigabytes. I'm not sure about the pricing. It changes. Now, I've also added to the skill to make sure that when it does create those databases, it starts with a different prefix on a per application basis so that our tables don't intertwine. Now, of course, there's many reasons you may still want to have an Excel-based applications by having all the data inside your own computer. Of course, there's security, especially for data sensitivity, but this is a nice option. If you have a customer that says, hey, I love a template that you've created, but I need it web-based, now you can make that and you can charge them a whole lot of money to create a web-based application that takes you a matter of minutes. I'll be including, of course, both the CRM and the 60-minute ERP, along with the extremely valuable Excel to Web App Kit. Also, it's a great time if you have my 400 workbook pack. I've got 400 templates that are ready to use. You can convert any one of those to a single amazing web application simply using this. So make sure you also grab my 400 workbook pack and I'll include the link down below. All right, it is now done. So let's take a look to see what this is like. We've got a dashboard, we've got a left side menu. Here we've got the ability to create a new order. This is pretty amazing. I'm pretty impressed. Once again, we have the toggle invoice and the purchase buy. Notice how it recognized the vendor and the customer automatically from our application. So I pointed it out to you. Here we have a drop down list of customers. If we select on a purchase, we have a drop down list of vendors. We have our previous orders, we have our products, and we have our contacts. So our front facing lists are automatically available. And let's go ahead and take a look at an existing order. If I select it, we have the vendor, the date, we have the ability to have a status, and we can add new lines. We have our list of products here, and we can update the order, which is nice. If we create a new order, we can create an invoice and we can pick an item here. We can add a new line. Very cool. Now, keep it in mind that the purchased amounts and the sales amounts are different. So if I were to change this to a purchase, look at this. The unit price changes from our purchase price to our sales price automatically. So that's better than my Excel application. I have to admit. So it's pretty cool. We can print it. Let's go ahead and take a look at the print. Oh, there it is. We've got a blank sheet, but it's there. Could use some updates. All right, so let's get this connected to our database. In this case, it's given us the cloud in the lower left-hand corner. So the location is different, but the instructions are the same. Once again, I'm gonna go inside Supabase, and we're gonna keep on the same project. So if we take a look at the project overview, I have just one project, which is the EFF apps. We're gonna go into the SQL editor, and we wanna close this one, and that's fine, but we want a new one. We wanna create the tables. So to do that, I'm gonna go back into Claude here, and what we want is the ERP Supabase schema. I'm going to copy this and then once again, just pasting that directly in here and then run. That's gonna actually create our tables. Let's take a look at just to see what we are at. So now notice here that we have tables in the same project, but this one start with ERP. So there's a different schema and that can help, but there's no data in there yet. So we wanna add in the data. So we're going to add in a new SQL and we're gonna go back into Claude. And here we're gonna go in the sample data here. I'm simply going to copy this. We're gonna go back in. I'm gonna paste it, Control V in here and just run it. So we're gonna run the query and we now have our data. If we wanna see our data, we're gonna go back into the table editor. We have our ERP contacts here. We have information for individual order IDs. We have our order items. Everything is here exactly as we need. Now that we have our tables built and we filled it with data, we simply need to connect it to our app. So once again, we're gonna go back into the project settings. I'm gonna go into the data and I'm gonna copy everything up to CO, and that's all we need as far as our URL. So I'm gonna copy that. I'm gonna go back into our 60-minute. I'm gonna go down here in the lower left where it's cloud. And once again, I'm gonna paste that in. I'm gonna grab the anon key this time. So we're gonna go back into Supabase. So we're gonna click on project settings and I'm gonna look for the API keys here. We're gonna go to the legacy anon and we're simply going to copy this key here. Once again, back inside here, pasting that anon public key here. Click connect. So things are looking good. All right, let's create an invoice and see how it's going. I'm going to select on Fred and I'm going to pick an item and then I'm going to save it. Okay, it says, oops, what happened to our customer? Let's see if that's a bug. I'm going to click save order. It says pick a customer. I'm going to screenshot this. It's kind of an issue. Notice it says pick a customer, but I already have. So I'm just going to let Claude fix this small error. I'm going to copy that and I'm going to bring that directly into Claude here. And I'm just going to say, please fix error on pick customer vendor first. We will not have to reconnect the database. Everything is already set with that. It'll just fix this error. It is already completed it. I'm going to download it so that it's got the same name and we could just refresh it and it should be already fixed. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. And now I'm just going to refresh it. All right, so let's go ahead and add a new order in here. And I'm going to select customer here and I'm going to pick any item. We just want to make sure that it is able to save. We're going to click save and it says invoice number 11 has been saved. Very good. I want to check to make sure that the database is connected. Our project settings are still there, which is exactly what we want. We don't want to disconnect it. We've just added invoice number 11. We're going to check the database to make sure that that is actually inside the database. We're going to look at our table editor. Inside this, we do see number 11. It is automatically updated directly here. So it's connected to our database. It fixed an error. We didn't need to reset the keys or anything like that. We just needed to refresh it. I did make sure that the name was the same. In just a matter of minutes, we've actually converted 2 individual Excel templates, including a CRM and a full mini ERP to a full web app. You could argue that the web apps are even better than the original Excel templates. Make sure you do grab the download. I'll include the ERP, I'll include the HTML files, the applications that we've created. I'd love to see what type of applications that you create. Make sure you comment below. Let me know what you want to convert to an HTML app and how that's working. This will also work on a mobile and it should work in any browser type. Thank you so much and we'll see you next week.